Hi guys, welcome to class. So in this session we are going to be talking. Sounds easy, it is, if you can talk. So we're going to be talking about some very random questions that I prepared, some challenging questions that maybe you need to think about. So maybe they're not so challenging today, I don't think so, but we'll see. So Chow, are you ready?
Yeah.
Good, okay, so we're going to go straight into it. Are you a committed person?
You mean to commute with others?
Committed in general terms. What does it mean for you? Be committed.
Be committed. Actually, I don't understand it. Could you explain it? Oh.
No. Rodolfo, can you explain? No. Okay, so Rodolfo, good to speak with you. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear. I
Perfect.
can hear you.
Cool. Okay, so we're talking about commitment. What does this mean?
Oh, I see.
Now you understand, yeah? To be committed, commitment. The dreaded C word.
Commitment?
Yes, commitment.
I think it's about to be to do something, to be dedicated to do something, right?
Yeah, to be dedicated to not only do something, but to stay with doing something, to stick with it. So if you're committed to your job, it doesn't mean that you start your job and then 1 week later you say, bye-bye, boss, I don't like it anymore. Yeah, so you stay with it. Or you can be committed in a relationship or committed with anything you do that you want to continue, you have to have commitment. So to be loyal to that thing. You understand? Loyal. Well, I can't say this word. Well, loyalty. That's a very difficult word for me. Chow, can you say loyalty?
Yeah.
Can you say loyalty?
Can you see loyalty spirit or?
Can you say loyalty?
Loyalty.
Dennis, can you say loyalty?
If you can.
Sorry?
Loyalty.
Loyalty, okay, that's fine. Rodolfo, can you say it?
Loyalty.
Okay, and Zuran?
Loyalty.
Okay, so maybe just me. Yeah? So loyalty. Okay, so commitment is kind of like loyalty to something, to be loyal. Rodolfo, are you a committed person?
About what?
About anything, you decide. So generally speaking, or does it depend? So would you be more committed, for example, with your work than you would be with friends, or vice versa, more committed with friends than work?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, I'm committed to work and friends about arriving early. I don't want to arrive later. Well, arrive late at a meeting.
Okay, so with friends, you would be punctual.
Yes, but sometimes I'm punctual, but my friends aren't, and sometimes I have to wait half an hour or maybe 1 hour.
To be honest, I'm that person, yeah? So with friends, I'm very always late. And maybe it's okay because if I say, for example, a time, it's usually about 20, 25 minutes, yeah? So they've kind of worked it out. But Chow, what about you with this? So are you committed to your friends enough that you would be punctual, like Rodolfo?
Punctual? No. I'm not a punctual person. Maybe I would late. Yeah. But for other things, the committive, I think I do, because if I want to make a promise or want to do something, I would stay in the end. Yeah.
Okay, so if you make a promise, you would stick to your promise, yeah? So you would stick to your promise. But for things like social things, you could be a bit late for. That's quite interesting, actually. But Zuran, what about you? Are you a committed person? And does your commitment levels change? Do your commitment levels change depending on the situation? Meaning, for work, are you more committed than studying, or for meeting friends, or for family, or whatever? Yeah. So Zuran, are you generally a committed person?
I think so. I am committed to my dream and what I want to do. Maybe it's I will change my work, but the direction I will study and work on will not change.
So you can change your work, but you're studying your major. You wouldn't change. You'd stay focused and things like this.
Yes.
Okay, this is cool. Shaden, what would you say? To what extent are you committed?
I think what?
Sorry.
Sorry, committed with what?
Committed. Did you? Do you understand? Committed. Sorry, but guys, I'm just trying to work out my Hangouts because what's happening today? This is the latest problem, yeah. So every day I have a different problem. Somehow the Hangout thing has gone too big, so I can't see everything. So I can't see, for example, the left-hand side, all the apps, and also some of the chat. So this is my latest problem, but that's why I'm working as you're speaking. So yeah, but anyway, Shaden, do you understand? Is this okay? Commitment. So it's basically meaning what, Dennis? Could you explain?
To be commitment, to be stick at something.
To stick to something. Do you understand this, Shaden? To stick to something.
Yes.
See? Stuck, yeah, you can't move, but to stick with something, you continue with it. No matter what happens, you continue. You fight, yeah? So you fight for something. So are you this kind of person, or would you give up easily? To give up?
I'm committed with my aims in my education.
So things
my
like this.
aim is to yes, go on.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, I have several aims. I didn't give up with it. Even I faced a huge problem with it and many difficulties with it, but I didn't give up. So I think I am committed.
Okay, so you are committed to your education, and as a result, because of your commitment, at times where you could have given up, you didn't give up. So you persisted. This word, to persist with something means to be committed. You don't give up. You could give up. There are lots of opportunities for you to give up. But you say no. I will continue
yes,
with it.
Trying over and over.
Yeah, you'll continue. So you persist. Lucas says, where are you from? Lucas, I'm from the UK, not from America. Yeah, so this is probably why my accent's a bit different. And also, Andra says he wants to be in this class, but he doesn't know if it's in real time. It's in real time. Just join now, okay? And then we can speak in real time, or fake time, whatever you prefer. So, Huan, are you there?
Hello, yes.
So, how committed are you? Are you persistent? So, to be persistent, yeah? So,
Yes, I am. Depending on what, I will pursue for it as much as I can, but once I realize it won't be happening, I will just never try it again. Because
okay.
I know I gave all the necessary effort.
So you would try, and if it doesn't work, you would give up. You know when to give up, and that's a thing that they tell us. Yeah, so you should know when to give up. Meaning it's okay to give up. You should just know at the right position. Don't give up at the first hurdle. They say. Yeah. So
yes. Some people confuse it, even myself, that to don't give up is just making the effort and doing it even for years, and even though it doesn't show the results, keep with it. I think that the real way to never give up or make your best effort is trying different approaches, doing like your little research and giving time. But if all of those doesn't work, then is a pretty clear sign that you have to abandon that dream or whatever.
So continue with it until you can. Yeah. So for all you can, put in all your effort. But if it doesn't work, it's best not to waste your time on certain things. Yeah. So that's also important. So you're saying you are committed, but only to a certain extent. You're not too committed. You're not 100% committed. How though? If you had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, or to give a percentage, how committed are you to things?
No, almost 100%. Because, well, in that example, I have done it. I have similar situations where I know I can do it. And but at first, I thought I couldn't. I was listening to the previous class, and I didn't join because I was late. But for example, the discipline to work from home, it is very difficult at first, but then the person can make their own schedule and their own discipline, be your own boss.
Yeah, so you can be committed, you can find a way around it and things like this. So that's the thing. So could you be then, to link to that last question we talked about in the last class, could you be the person, and are you this person, could you work at home, and would you be committed enough to your work to not get distracted?
Yeah, actually, lately in the last 2 years, that's the way I work. Most of my work I do it from home, but I had to do that. Some people think it may be like I don't know the word right now, but I get up at the same time in the morning.
Your routine?
Yes, the same routine as I work, as all people do when they go out to work. I do it here, even though I'm in home and it's a very small house.
Yeah.
But I found that if I don't do that, if I don't stick to the schedule, the same hour to go to lunch, the same with the phone, turning it off, only use it for work, then it'll be a mess.
And there's no distinction therefore between your private life and your work life. Yeah, everything merges into one kind of big mess.
Yes.
But Chow said, by the way, lost cause. Okay, could you explain it? It doesn't mean that thing is going to be. Yeah, it's a lost cause, meaning give up. Yeah, it's just failed. No matter what you do, it's never going to work. So it's a lost cause. Okay. No matter what you do. Okay?
Lost cause. Yes, exactly. That was the word. Thank you,
Can everyone give us an example of something maybe they've decided to give up on recently, but maybe it was a difficult decision. Everyone was saying no, you should stick with it, but you should. But you wanted to give up. You thought it was a lost cause. There's no future with you in this, and you gave it up. Yeah. Did anyone make this decision recently?
Yeah.
Ciao.
I gave up learning Japanese recently.
Yes. But for you, it's easy. Yeah. So you use some similar characters.
Yeah, it is, and I studied it for for 1 year. But I think I can't focus on my major, so I just gave up the learning Spanish. Maybe Japanese. Maybe I would just restart it when I go to the postgraduate. But in this undergraduate period, I don't think I have much attention to deal with it.
Because of the time.
Maybe it is an excuse, but I think it is a rational choice.
Yeah.
I can study it later.
Yeah, so they need to offer it on Verbling though. When they offer it on Verbling, then things will change.
Yeah,
I will join you, Chow, in those classes. Yes, that's cool. Okay, so Rodolfo. Yeah, so you are. Has anyone given up recently? So Chow has given up, for example, in language, and that was, for example, that's a common thing with me. On my bookshelf, I have lots of books saying like, learn, I don't know, I went to Egypt once, learn Arabic in 2 months, or do these kind of things, and they don't work. They don't work, these books saying learn it in 2 months or something. But has anyone else got this experience of maybe thinking, yes, I'm going to learn a language, and then you just don't? Yeah, so Rodolfo, what about you? Have you tried to learn another language and you gave up?
No, I haven't had the opportunity to study another language. I just study English just for a semester.
Okay, so just sorry, you've studied English for one semester.
Yes, in the school, and so I haven't had any other classes, and I decided to continue studying English here in the internet.
So it's possible to learn it in 2 months. Maybe I just didn't trust it, but that's cool. So yeah, so maybe I should dust down this Arabic in 2 months thing. Yeah, so it's possible. That's cool. But Zurab, what about you? Have you ever tried to learn another language and failed because you just something else distracted you, or you had other priorities?
Yeah, in my high school, we have an interest class to teach French, and only students who is good at English are allowed to study in that class. I was just curious about French, and I joined it. But finally, I thought French is not sounds good. As I thought, because we was taught in a text that French is the beautiful language in this world. But finally, I knew that it was written by a French writer.
Yeah.
And I thought actually French is not so beautiful, and I gave up because
depends, yeah. I think for women to speak French, that's okay, yeah. But because we had to in the UK, we have to learn French. So in school for maybe a couple of years, up until 14, so we have to have French classes. But I didn't pay much attention, yeah. But I wish I did now, but I didn't pay much attention. And it's very difficult, yeah, with the and the sounds. I think it's quite difficult. But if women could do that, I think that's all right. Yeah? But has anyone else got experience like this? So, Dennis, what about you? Have you given up on something recently?
Recently, no. But I started learning several languages. In my life, it was Italian, it was Spanish, it was French, and without good result, because I don't know, I always had no motivation to do this.
Yeah.
Except English, because all information which I get in English.
And what gives you the motivation to continue to be committed with English, and how committed are you to English? Do you how committed are you? What do you do to study English apart from speaking on verbling?
I'm afraid nothing.
To be honest, I don't know if you need to, yeah, because I think you can learn a lot just by speaking, and I don't know. Okay, grammar books and stuff.
It's the best way to learn language, of course. Yeah. Because I've never used a grammar books, for example. It's just I don't know. It's boring, and you always forget all this stuff from these books. It just, I don't know, you just can't keep it to your head.
And so I've never studied, apart from, of course, to do this, I never studied grammar. And for me, it was very difficult. I did a course for grammar so I could teach it. And for me, I found English grammar so difficult because I can't understand. Of course, I understand what it is, yeah? So I understand, say, I would have done this. I would say this quite naturally, but then to learn the theory about this, I'm like, so, and we don't do this with our native language. I'm not sure if you studied grammar of your own language, but it's not natural, yeah. So to study it, I would say when we learn our native languages. So maybe by speaking is a good way. But does anyone disagree with this? So who is a big grammar fan, and does anyone know the grammar of their own language very, very well?
The grammar of our own language?
Yeah. Do you know the grammar of your own language very, very well? Meaning, of course, you speak accurately when you speak with native speakers, but have you ever studied the grammar of your language?
Yes, we study grammar, the grammar of Spanish in school.
Okay, I don't think we did so much at school. So we... Of course, we were corrected, but we didn't have. And this one thing I've noticed is that lots of people say foreigners I speak to say they've had specific grammar classes at school for the language. I don't remember having a grammar class in my school. We were corrected, so we'd write essays, and they were correct. They were saying, right, you should write it like this. But I don't remember a specific grammar class. And this is probably a weakness, maybe, in our education. I'm not sure. But, yeah.
There was no subject like in English language?
Yeah, English language. Yeah, we did English language, but they didn't teach us, like, the present perfect, yeah, or anything like this. I didn't know these terms until I learnt how to teach grammar. Yeah,
and what is this about?
What
you teach? What do you teach in these classes?
In English language?
Yeah.
So
if it's not a grammar, so what is it?
Yeah, so we would just write essays, things like this. So they'll give us a topic, and they'll say, write an essay about, and how they'll correct the grammar is they'll just say, they'll just cross it and just write what you should have done. And we just learnt through this, yeah, they would just write a comment saying, you shouldn't say, I would have done this, you should say, whatever, yeah, so they'll just correct it, but we wouldn't know the theory, like, it is that, yeah, so certainly in my school we didn't, yeah, it may be different in other schools, but I don't remember ever having these classes for grammar.
Lucky you, Martin. We have a lot of
classes. But Dennis, I think Russian grammar is maybe more complicated, do you think?
Maybe. How do you think?
I don't know, yeah, so I
You're studying Russian, no?
Yeah, but not to a good level. But, I don't know, yeah, so...
I don't know.
Also, so I went to Minsk, yeah, so I went to... I guess it's different at university and stuff, but the way they studied language in Minsk was different to how we studied, yeah, so they learned a lot of things like phonetics, yeah, and things like this, which maybe we don't study so much, we don't learn so much, which I found a difference. But I don't know what it's like in your country. So Rodolfo, you said you did study maybe, but Zuran, what about Chinese? Are you an expert in Chinese grammar?
Chinese what?
Grammar.
Yeah. I'm good at Chinese. I think when I was a child, I read more books than my peers, so I'm good at Chinese from my primary school to my college.
But do you know the names for things? So, like the names of all the tenses, and do you know all the theory about it, or do you just know how to use it? I'm interested now, yeah, so this is good. But Zuran, did you learn the theory saying, this is the present perfect continuous, or whatever it is in Chinese, this is, would you be able to, if you read a Chinese text, say, that's that, as in identify what grammar it is, or would you just know how to use it?
I think so.
You would be able to identify. Guys, you're so intelligent. So maybe it's.
I think we did a lot of this exercise where we're in primary school or middle school, and we have the test and to fill in the blank about it.
Can you ask your American teachers if this is so? If they had specific grammar classes when they're at school? I'm very interested now.
Yes, it's very interesting. Yeah.
Because I don't know yet, so it could have been just my school, but I went to 2 different secondary schools because I moved, and none of them we had grammar classes, yeah. But although I would say my grammar was good, although when I was 16 I would still make mistakes, things like I always wrote that in essays, I would have done that rather than I would have, but that's because of the pronunciation.
To prepare our college exam, they have many kinds of grammar questions to finish. And there is a question in the paper. It is equals about 4 points, I think. And every student must finish it.
Okay, so guys, it's different. But again, it could be just my experience, but if you could ask some other of your teachers if they learned it and how they learned grammar. I don't know, yeah, so if it's just in the UK or whatever, or just my experience in my schools. But yeah, I don't remember having these classes. But anyway, okay, so.
I myself can imagine school without grammar classes.
Sorry, Dennis?
It's impossible. I said I just can't imagine school without grammar classes. It's impossible to imagine school without it. So
okay,
what do you, Mark?
Googling, is grammar taught in the UK? And it says, yeah, someone else says, I must admit that I have no recollection of ever being taught grammar in my school years in the UK. Someone else has said this. So maybe it's just our education system, and I think that's bad, because lots of people, I'd say lots of British people, make grammar mistakes, even on Facebook. For example, okay, a family friend of my mum's, who's like an accountant or whatever, so quite intelligent, makes grammar mistakes, yeah, on Facebook. You see this all the time, and maybe British people have bad grammar, maybe. So, like I said, I've only learnt it because you guys maybe need it. So this goes back to the theory, right? So if a native speaker could have survived several years without learning grammar, but could speak English quite well, I hope, is it necessary? So, Rodolfo, what do you say?
About what?
Grammar. So, is it necessary to learn grammar to be able to speak a language? A foreign language. Let's say foreign language, because your native language, that's different. But could you learn a foreign language without ever looking at the grammar books?
I think no. Well, I have cousins that when they were children, they traveled to America and they stay there, and they know English, but they went there at a very young age. But for a grown person, I think it has they have to learn the basic grammar to form the sentences in a good way.
Okay, so it's about sorry, and I'd say, for example, for learning second language, like when I learned German or whatever, it was very important to learn the grammar. Although I would say it was difficult for me to learn the grammar because I wasn't so confident in the grammar in my own language. Yeah, and I think that's thing. So as soon as they say, "Oh yeah, this is this," thinking, well, if I don't know my own language, how can I learn it in a different language? Yeah, so that's probably a problem. But yeah, guys, that you've revealed something. I'm shocked. So let's go to another point. What is a great life, Chardin? So, what does it mean if someone says, "I've had a great life"? You know, you're 80 years old. You look back in your life and you say, "I've had a great life." Okay. What does it mean when someone says they've had a great life? What is a great life for you?
I think it's a special life, not as a normal life, have family or have a good job. I think it's special with reach your aim and your goals in your life, your dream.
It depends. It's done on an individual basis. There's no one such thing as a great life. It depends on your individual dreams, your individual aspirations for things. But Zuram, what would be a great life for you? What's your dream life?
I think I can be together with my families and friends. I can afford what I want to buy, and every year I can go to some resorts, go traveling with my friends. I think that's enough for me.
Okay, so certain things, like being with friends and stuff like that, that would make you happy and would give you a great life. Rodolfo, what would you need to have a great life?
I would say the same as Soren. To be with my friends and my family and the persons that I love, and also to do what I like with my life.
So to have freedom, yeah, to have freedom.
Yes, to have freedom.
like when you want to do it. Yeah. So, Yuan, what do you need to have a great life? And do you think you will, when you're 80 years old, struggling to the shop, will you say, "I've had a great life"?
I hope so, but right now I'm not pretty sure.
Yeah, it's difficult to say. Yeah. So as soon as you get in that hectic of the daily life, you're thinking, well, it's just normal at the moment. Okay, so that's interesting. Dennis, what about you?
But no, not because of that. Because maybe how life is going right now is not like the ideal. Yeah. So if you take into account, it will be the same. At 80, I won't be satisfied.
Okay, so what do you need then, right now, to be satisfied when you're 80?
Well, I would like to have a family and something, a family and
money.
Family.
But money as well.
Oh, money, yeah, also.
Or money instead.
I don't know. I never have had a lot of money, so I cannot say for sure. But I still tend to think to have a family and peace of mind.
Yeah. So would you prefer to have $1 billion in the bank account and no family, or a family and no dollars in the bank account when you're 80?
Well, it's a very, very difficult question. Like I said,
you could buy a family now.
Yeah, that's the other aspect. Maybe I can make myself be in mental peace, knowing that even though buying people or family or whatever feelings, it's not like the ideal, but I could get used to that, I think. And with $1 billion, it will.
Yeah, you can keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find something to do with $1 billion. Yeah, at least I hope so. Yes, there's a lot of money. But Dennis, what about you? What do you need?
What I need. I need main interest in my life and main motivation and goals in what I do.
And sorry, goals.
Goals.
Goals. Okay, be careful.
Girls.
Yeah. Summarizes girls and goals. Okay, so that's cool. Ciao. What do you say?
And so sometimes for some people it's the same.
Okay, so yeah, you're saying for lots of people it'll be a similar thing. So to have goals and to achieve your goals. Ciao. Girls and goals.
Oh, it is the pronunciation test.
Can you say goals?
Girl, no. Goals.
Goals. They're very, actually, I didn't notice this. I need to have, can you say I need to have goals?
The goals.
I need to have goals.
You have to speak with American pronunciation. It's different.
Girls. Yeah, with American it's easier. Girls. Yeah, I sorry if any Americans are watching. Sorry. Yeah, but they say girls. No, girls. No, I can't. Wait. Goals. Okay, so try British then American, Chow.
Girls.
Goals.
Oh, wait, it looks the same.
In British English, it's very similar. Okay, let's try some other people. Zuran, can you say girls? No, wait, I've forgotten. Girls. For me, I can hear a difference when I say it. I don't know if you can hear the difference. Girls.
Girls.
Almost no.
But I can hear the difference, yeah? So, girls. Completely different. Goals.
I think goals, you have an L, and your tongue will put on your up lip.
Goals. No, girls. Oh, yeah, you can say girls or girls.
Oh,
you can say girls or goals. Girls, goals. So at one time they go girls is like up and goals is like that. Wait. Goals, goals. Or you can say goals, but it's all to say. We say goals.
American pronunciation is changed by a writer of dictionary. Is that true?
It was changed, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting point. American English is actually the original British English. We just changed it. So, because this kind of R, I read about this. It's quite interesting. This R, they always go like yeah. So, that's really yeah. You know, this kind of thing. Well, that's originally British English, and then the Americans kept it, but we changed it. I can't remember when. Because this was seen to be lower class, yeah. So at that time, I don't know, 1500s. No, I can't remember. 1700s. I really don't know the date. But basically, in the early stages of American civilization, we changed this because this was considered to be like the common people, not because of Americans, because that at that time, but in like British high society with the kings and stuff, nobility, the common people would speak like So they developed this kind of received pronunciation, which is r, yeah, and that was seen to be higher class. So they developed this, and more people wanted to speak like that. So actually, the American English, according to this source I found, which I can send to you later, I just need to find it, was the original British English. So when they say American English is not the original English, it's actually the original English. The way we speak is not. Yeah? So this is like some kind of developed English afterwards. So American English is the original English, guys. But still, please learn British English, yeah?
Yeah.
So, please learn.
Martin, I have a question to you.
Yeah.
If you see American actors in American movies speaking with British accent,
it's so annoying.
Take for example, I know Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
Yeah, by Guy Ritchie with Robert Downey and Jude Law. Yeah, they speak with so-called British accent.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Sorry, did you say Jude Law?
Yeah.
He's British. I'm sure he's British. I'm sure he's British, right?
Maybe. But
yeah, no, he's British. I know because my friend, a friend of a friend, drove his car into Jude Law's hedge. Because Jude Law lives near and not far from where I live, and I didn't know it was Jude Law, but Jude Law came out and drove the car into the hedge. Do you know what a hedge is?
Mm-hmm.
The hedge is like the trees and stuff. He just passed his driving test and drove into Jude Law's hedge. Yeah, so that's a funny story. But yeah, he comes not too far from
maybe and other actors. I think Robert Downey is American for sure. Yeah. What do you think about this accent? Is this the same? No. Could you refuse people speaking in
I
this
can
way
tell,
with their native?
Usually I can tell, but it's the same. Also, some British actors and stuff try to do American English and stuff like this, and you can tell because usually it's exaggerated. It's hello, yeah, so it's a bit like that. Yeah, we don't really talk like that, but sometimes it can be okay. I can't remember an example where I thought it was particularly good, but I find it irritating when people try to change their accent. Yeah, so it happens a lot maybe with British people. Some teenage girls want to speak like an American, yeah, because it seems to be cool, and they try to talk a little bit with an American accent. And I doubt that Americans would do the same with the British accent. It's not so common, maybe it's not so popular, but this happens. You hear some teenage girls in the UK trying to talk a bit like that, and yeah, everything's so awesome, and yeah, trying to just try to do it, and it doesn't sound right. And I think if I tried to do American accent, the Americans would say, oh yeah, so it's not good. So I think we should just stick with our accents, yeah, not try to.
T-shirt.
Yes, please.
So it's not similar. So it's not similar for you, yeah.
It depends who it is, but usually when Americans do British accents, it's usually bad.
In general, usually bad. Yeah?
Generally speaking, yes. But it's the same vice versa. I'm not saying Americans can't do British accent. We also can't do American accents generally.
If I were to go to England,
yeah.
I don't know the very I can speak with a British accent, but if I try to do it, do you think that the people there would get offended or something like that?
Right. So this is a good point because I have had some private students who tried to do a really traditional BBC accent, and one thing I advise them to do is not. Yeah. So because on the one hand, it's good to have good pronunciation, and we can see that it made the effort, but sometimes it can sound a little offensive. Not that it's offensive. Not that. But if you're trying to talk like this, yes, so you're trying to talk, it makes us sound bad because we think we sound like that, yeah. So I would advise to keep the pronunciation kind of neutral, and if you can do a British accent, try it, but don't try to talk like that, yeah. So it can sound a bit forced and unnatural. But the way you speak, Rodolfo, if you spoke like that in the UK, that's perfectly good, yeah, because it's natural, it's comfortable for you. Don't make it uncomfortable, and that's what some people try. They want to speak with a particular accent, and they make it sound unnatural. Yeah, so I'd advise it's better to speak. We would much prefer to hear you speak with your natural accent than some kind of forced British accent, because we know it's not possible, and it sounds a bit cheesy sometimes. Yeah, so but if you can do it, go ahead for it. But Ciao, for example, I'd say your accent's pretty clear. You wouldn't need to do anything with that. Yeah, so. It's very, very clear. And I can tell you quickly now, if you're interested, if your accent sounds more British American, yeah? Shall I tell you? Are you interested? Ciao, can you say something? Yeah, say, I went to the shop and I bought some red eggs.
I went to the shop and I bought some red eggs. Red eggs.
It's a mix, yeah? So I went to the shop, it sounded very British, but then when you said red eggs, it sounded a bit American. So that's kind of neutral. Dennis, you're American, yeah, that's clear. Juan, can you say, I went to the shop and I bought some red eggs. I don't know what red eggs are, but just say.
Okay, red eggs.
American. Okay, Rodolfo is American. Shaden, can you say, I went to the shop and I bought some red eggs.
I went to the shop and
bought some red eggs.
Bought some red eggs.
Red eggs. I don't know, I can't tell. It's kind of neutral, yeah? It's a bit like Ciao. And Zuran.
I went to the shop. Oh, sorry.
I went to the shop to buy some red eggs.
Red eggs. Again, it's neutral, yeah? So that's quite clear. Juan, do you want to try?
Okay. I went to the shop and bought some red eggs.
Definitely American, yeah? So, well, when I say American, I'm not saying speak like American, but more influence and things like this. But the thing is, guys, Juan, if you go to UK, just speak as you're doing. Yeah? Don't try and think, right, maybe I'm more influenced by American English, so I should try the British English accent. If you spoke like that in the UK, it's perfectly good, yeah? No one would even think about anything, yeah? So, but don't, all I can say, don't force anything that's not natural to you. Just speak natural, in a natural way, if that's American English or British English, whatever. Okay, so...
Martin, can I say? And this is a very strange and very ridiculous situation in Russian textbooks about English language, because they say that there is no R sounds in English, but all another examples these textbooks give with American pronunciation, and it's just a very strange mix.
In the textbooks?
Yeah, written in Russian for Russian speakers who learn English like as a second language. So all these textbooks says there is no R sound, and you should pronounce I don't know, car, not a car.
Car. In British English, yeah. So in British English we don't pronounce the R, but in Americans they would say car. Car.
And,
we would say car.
They give all another examples they give with American pronunciation.
Oh, yeah. So this confusing. So you read and you say no English R, and then you hear car, and you're like, yeah, I can hear the Yeah, so we in British English we would say things like car, water, or water, as I would say, water. I don't know. Water. Yeah, so Americans do pronounce the R a lot more, and it's kind of like a sound, not like a r. We just go r. But okay, so moving on. I don't want to bore you with that, but let's go to something else. Does anyone else have any questions about maybe differences or anything like this, or any more points before we go on? Good. Let's go on. So. I don't want to ask you this question. I've prepared some questions in advance, but some of them I don't want to ask because they're too long. But if I said to you, what is, Chardin, a free gift? So what is the difference between a gift and a free gift?
Maybe without cost.
Okay.
Without a special day, maybe it's just a gift.
So, but what is a free gift? Isn't a gift just free anyway?
It's an euphemism.
Yeah, so...
free, but I don't know what's the difference between a gift and a free gift.
So, yeah, so you see this a lot. Oh, yeah, free gift, yeah, or something like this. But, you know, a gift is supposed to be free. But is there such a thing, Chow, as a free gift? As in, do you think that any gifts that are given without any ulterior motive?
You mean it's just for altruism to give this gift and don't need any feedback?
Yeah, you don't need anything back. You just get it and that's it.
I partially agree there is a free gift. But, you know, free has a price, and I always think so. And maybe you can't give some feedback from other people, but you can get feedback from other things, like from yourself's value and, yeah, and appreciation or something like that.
Okay, so, for example, if you go to a wedding, what is the law in China with
money?
Gifts? Okay, money. So how much money would you have to give?
It depends the relationship with this couple. If it's just a regular friends, actually I don't know. It also depends on how developed the cities you live in.
Yep.
And if the big cities, maybe 1,000. In average, in the small cities, 500. In some areas, just
I think
200.
you're more generous than that. Yeah. I think you're more generous. We don't give much, yeah. We give them a microwave, yeah. So or a kettle, like £20, done, finished. Yeah. So no, I've heard in Asian countries with wedding gifts, for example, you're particularly generous. But is it like a free gift? Yeah. So are you giving it to them without any expectation from them?
No, because when you get married, they will give the money back, and when you have children, they will give the money back.
So it's an exchange, right? Like
look at it.
It's like a loan, right? You're giving them a loan, not a gift.
Yeah, and also some people said having a marriage is just a tool to make money. It can be a tool to make money.
They can be profitable, I guess. Yeah. So it
depends. Yeah.
It depends who you invite as well. Yeah. This way you have to be careful with who you invite. Okay. Dennis, what about you? Do you believe in the idea that anyone gives a gift without expecting anything in return?
Yes, why not? People not so bad as you guys think. It's absolutely possible.
And this is true. Sometimes, for example, if I give a souvenir, so if I've been somewhere, I give some kind of souvenir, I don't expect anything back, but often people give me stuff back, and I feel bad about this because I'm thinking, well, actually, no, I didn't want your thing. I just gave it, but also there's also a sense of obligation when you give gifts. Oh, I should buy a gift, it's kind of expected, so therefore maybe it's not free because you're thinking you should, it's not something you're doing maybe completely out of your own goodwill. But Huan, what do you say to this?
pretty much alike like you, but also as Dennis said, I think that there are people that may give a gift just to give it as a sign of friendship, of love,
for the sake of it, you can say, for the sake of it.
For the sake of it, but normally society has implied that if I gift you something, then you have to gift me something.
Yeah. So really, there's no such thing as a free gift. We do expect, consciously or otherwise, to get something in return one day.
Yeah,
even if we don't say it.
Not all people, but I don't know. For example, I can give a gift and I'm not expecting any from the other person, but apparently that is not the way it works in general.
Okay, so Juan, you go to your friend's wedding, you give a very expensive gift, then you get married a year later, and no one gives you a present. How do you feel?
Well, it already has happened to me. That's why I have like this training. I don't expect anything. But the thing is, I don't want anything. So I don't know. In my family, we never accustomed to give gifts in any occasions. Not because we were poor or something like that, just because we didn't believe in that.
Yeah.
So I don't. I did it in the past. To comply with these social norms, but I don't know. Apparently, people were thinking that I did it for something.
To get something back. To get
something back. So, well, you have to be very naive or a fool if you keep doing that that thing of gifting. So I just prefer not to give anything.
And to be honest, I think because all it is just an exchange. And sometimes I think, well, to be honest, if I really, really wanted something, I would rather spend the money that I was going to spend on your gift on that thing and tell you to buy whatever you like. So Christmas, for example. Okay, I like Christmas, but sometimes you're thinking, right, let's agree, right? Let's each spend £50 on ourselves, So you choose what you like with your £50. I'll choose what I like with my £50, rather than this exchange. But Rodolfo, do you like giving gifts, or do you prefer to receive gifts? And what's your attitude on what we've discussed?
Sorry.
So, do you like the exchanging gifts?
I'm not the type of person that gives many gifts, because most of the times I don't know if the person would like to receive that kind of gift, or if maybe he wants another thing. So I don't like to be involved in that kind of situations, and I just receive the gifts if they want to give them to me. And if they don't want to give me any gifts, it's okay.
What I hate most about giving gifts, though, is the reaction. So you have to play this kind of, thank you, you have to play this up. And equally for me, if I give a gift, you have to watch this. That's the worst thing. Them to say, oh, look, it's amazing. I've always wanted blue socks. So always wanted blue socks with whatever that is. So, and for me, I don't like watching it because it's played up. They're not really they're not that excited over socks. That was a bad example. But equally, if you don't do it, you have to give this response, otherwise you're rude. So this whole kind of like, let's play the game about who can pretend to be impressed, that's what I don't like. And I don't know if you have to do this in your cultures and stuff. Quickly, Shadan, when you receive a gift, how should you act?
Shy.
Shy, like...
I hate the gift. So act like I am surprised, or oh, thank you, that's so nice, that's so kindly. And
we have to, so all the time, this kind of big theatre, so and we always say, this is one thing we say in English, I don't know if you say this in your languages, oh, you shouldn't have, yeah? And every time it annoys me when someone says this, because I'm thinking, well, okay, I wish I didn't. So if you're saying I didn't have to, then why did I give it? But well, one way you can get out of this, if they say, oh, I shouldn't have, you just take it back from them, yeah? See how they react. But anyway, so, Shannon, you say in your culture you'd act shy.
What do you try to do?
So you would act shy and you wouldn't say things like, oh, yeah, thank you, too much over the top. But Zuran, what about your culture? It's the same as Charles. So I'll ask you, how do you respond when you get a gift, and how do you expect people to respond when you give a gift?
I must say thank you. I'm appreciate and I like it very much. Although sometimes I think it's not fit my wish, and in another chance, if possible. For example, we have many chances to give gifts in festivals, birthdays. If I got a gift, I must give it back in another chance. To find a chance to give it back with stuff with similar price.
Yeah. So sometimes, but I found Russian speakers to be very, very, very generous with gift giving. Yeah. So I don't know if it's true, but for example, one of my students visited me in London from Moscow. He's a private student. He came to London, and gives gifts and things like this. And also, when I went to Minsk, every house you went to, they gave you something. Yeah. And I was like, wasn't expecting this. Yeah. So just to visit a house, they'll give, this is a souvenir. And for me, I was like, what? Yeah. So I didn't understand. So Dennis, quick question: is it true? Are Russian speakers generally generous with giving gifts? And is it a big part of your culture?
I think yes.
Okay, yeah. So I liked it, yeah, but I was surprised by it. Yeah, I didn't know.
No, so sometimes it's very annoying, actually. No.
What do I think? No, I like it, but if you're not prepared, it's kind of awkward, because if you don't have a gift in return, I feel bad. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's good if you Google first, if you're going somewhere like that, to know what kind of gift to give back. But I like it. I think it's very, very nice. But I felt very guilty because I didn't have so many gifts to give back. Yeah. And what's the rule on this, Dennis? If you don't give a gift back, is that very rude?
No.
Okay. But it's better to. It's better to give a gift back. Yeah. So this is a very complicated thing.
No. It's I think it's not necessary to give it back. Absolutely
okay.
Not necessary.
Because sometimes it can be rude to give a gift if they're giving you a gift, because it means that basically you're only getting.
No, if it's not a particular occasion, if it's not a holiday or some kind of celebration, so it's just if it's just a gift, it's absolutely.
But when I say give a gift back, I mean instantly. Of course, you would give a gift at another occasion. Yeah, I'm not saying just take the gifts and don't give anything back ever. But I mean, at that point, if they give a gift, should you give a gift straight away? Yeah, that's what I didn't quite understand. But anyway, guys, I will let you go, and maybe you've got other classes to go to and stuff, so I don't want to waste your time. But as ever, it's been very interesting to speak to you. I've got another class later, so this is designed for people in a different time zone. So hopefully, if you can join in. But if not, have a good day or have a good evening or whatever. So take care and good to speak with you. Bye. Cheers.
See you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Goodbye.